How's it going, guys? Sirius here, and today I've decided to run 75 logbooks to see how much profit can we make, and in the end I will calculate the profit and see if they were worth running or I was better off selling them in bulk on TFT. Now let's talk a bit about logbooks. The most sought out logbook is the one that contains Lush Isle. It's because they have those hoards that contain currency, so we might drop some raw divines out of those. As for all the other ones, they're pretty much the same. Now of course in the end we will see how many times we've encountered Olroth, which is the boss for Expedition, and I really hope to drop the flask because it's very expensive. Now to talk a bit about the remnants that we're chasing, we're looking for remnants that have quantity and rarity from either excavated chests or dropped from monsters. This is very important because they stack up. And of course we're looking for the chests that have markers for currency. Additional tip, we'll be running these logbooks on area level 82, so we might drop some gems level 20, so we'll be looking out for that marker as well. Now as for the bad remnants that I'm trying to avoid, the biggest one would be hits against monsters cannot be critical because my build relies on critical hits, and if I can deal those, I deal a lot less damage. I am also evading the monsters are immune to lightning damage because my build deals lightning damage, of course, and of course some general ones which makes monsters penetrate your lightning resistances, and maybe you don't deal a lot of damage. You might want to avoid monsters have increased percentage life because, as you know, each remnant that explodes stacks up with the next one, whether it's positive or negative. And this of course also applies to the boss, so you'd wanna avoid making the boss very hard. Now before moving forward, let me remind you I am running 75 logbooks, of which 53 of them have Lush Isle and 22 that do not have it. I have farmed all those logbooks myself, so I did not pay for any of them. Now let's move on to the highlights, and after that we'll be sorting and counting the loot. Now that we're done, let's talk about the loot. First of all, let's tackle Olroth. I encountered him 25 times out of 75 logbooks, so that makes one boss in each 3 logbooks. But to my surprise, I did not drop a flask. That was very disappointing. I don't know if the odds of the flask is very low or I just got unlucky. Now obviously the other drops are not very valuable. The helmets and the clubs are not very valuable. As for the shields, I have this one that's rolled very low, -2 maximum block chance, which is worth a divine, and this one might be worth a divine. I'll corrupt them later on. As for the jewels, all of them have the line of Olroth, which each is worth a divine, and the lines of Vorana, which is worth 2 divines. I'll be corrupting those later on. Now as for the other loot, we've dropped a lot of artifacts. I will not go to the bother of counting them. I will be bulk selling them and see how much exalts I can get out of those, and a lot of exotic coinages as well. We've dropped some expedition tablets and some irradiation tablets. I will not value those because some of them have really bad mods. I do not see any of them that have a lot of good ones. Now we have here the currency. We have some Vals, some Regals, some Alks. We've dropped 540 exalts, 84 chaos orbs, 11 divines, and 1 perfect jeweler. Opposing the 11 divines, we dropped 8 orbs of annulment. So you see the ratio of annulment and divine is pretty much the same. It depends on your luck. And I also got 5 uncut skill gems, level 20, which are worth 35 exalt each. And finally 68 waystones. I will value each of those waystones at around 4 exalts, because the ones that already have mods are around 3 exalts and the white ones are about 5. Let's take about on average 4 exalt per piece. That makes 272 exalts. A tangle tongue that's pretty badly rolled, so not much to go out here. These two robes that unfortunately have a lot of life, especially this one. If this had high ES, this could be great because it has very high resistances, but you know, it is what it is. It's just bad luck. I don't think those will sell. Normally energy shield builds look for energy shield and not life. We dropped this crown of eyes that can be valued maybe at 10 chaos, but I don't think this will sell. And I dropped this 3 dragon, corrupting the maximum elemental resistances to 21, but still I don't think this will sell. And these wake of destruction boots, which I corrupted for 20 cold resistance. And I also got this nice helmet that has relatively high ES, good rarity, some mana, good resistances, and a lot of intelligence. And I will corrupt that to see if we get an extra socket or some nice implicits. I will liquidate the artifacts and be back in a sec. Okay, now that I have moved everything that's worth moving to the other tab and liquidated the rest, we're still sitting at 1441 exalts. The artifacts that are worth exchanging are the Sun and Black Scythe artifact and of course the exotic coinage. The others are pretty much worthless. Now let's exchange our exalts for divines. I reckon we can get only 2 for them. Here we go, 2 divines. Let's exchange our chaos orbs also. We have 80. We got 4 divines for this. Now I'll calculate the rest. I will not bother you and I will put a final number in the end. But I have here those omens of corruption. Let's corrupt these few items and see what we can get. Almost forgot I have to socket those shields. Now let's see. Okay, so first of all, this one has an extra socket already, and we're looking at maybe 2 divines, which is good. This one with increased thorns damage, it's a pretty much brick. This one with increased energy shield. We're looking at 375 energy shield with rarity, some resistances. This is about 3 divines with another resistance. Maybe we can get 5 divines for that. Let's see our jewels here. We got one with lightning resistance, one with fire resistance, one with chaos, and another one with fire. I think the one with chaos would sell the most. The others are still pretty much the same worth, which being 1 divine, 1 divine, and 2 divines. So after exchanging all the remaining currencies such as the annuls for divines and exalts, we're looking at 19 divines in raw currency, about 0.5 divines in skill gems, the Svaling that got 2 sockets for 2 divines, and the unique jewels that dropped from Olroth. I am valuing them totally at 5 divines. So we're looking at a final number of 26.5 divines in total. Now to compare that with the price of logbooks, if I had sold my logbooks without running them, I believe the Lush Isle logbooks are selling 4 to a divine and the normal ones are selling 6 to a divine. So if I sold my logbooks instead of running them, I would have sold them for 12.3 divines, which is less than what we just made. So if you have a ton of logbooks, I would recommend you run them, because as you see, we've almost made double the profit. And that's without dropping the Olroth flask. If we had dropped that, we would have made massive profit. Thank you for tuning in, guys. This was my logbook video farm. Now I apologize for the lack of content. Recently I've been dealing with some family health issues, but all of that has been toning down, and I hope to get back to recording as consistently as possible. Now the new Path of Exile 1 league will be coming very shortly. I will try to make as many videos as possible before the league starts to guide the new players that are coming from PoE 2 to PoE 1. I hope I have the time to do as many videos as possible. Thank you for all your support, and as always, like if you like, subscribe if you want, and thank you for watching.